If you've ever wondered why a single berry can make a lemon taste like candy for a whole hour, or how the largest fruit in the world can be pulled apart into something that looks and tastes like pork, and many more secrets besides, stay with us. Dragon fruit. Beneath its wild flame-pink skin and green scales, this striking fruit is the product of a climbing cactus that blooms only at night. Native to the tropical Americas, where it is called pitaya, it is now grown across Asia on a massive scale, with Vietnam the largest producer of all. Cut it open and the flesh is white or deep magenta, flecked with tiny black seeds like a kiwi, and the taste is surprisingly gentle, mildly sweet and refreshing, somewhere between a kiwi and a pear. Its enormous white flowers open for a single night and are pollinated by bats and moths before they wilt by dawn. Farmers sometimes string lights through the fields to trick the plants into flowering longer. Despite its dramatic looks, dragon fruit is one of the mildest tasting fruits on this list. Rambutan. The name comes from the Malay word for hair, and one look explains why. The fruit is a bright red globe covered in soft, fleshy, green-tipped spines that make it look like a small sea creature. Native to Southeast Asia, the rambutan is a close cousin of the lychee, and peeling back its hairy shell reveals the same kind of translucent, jelly-like white flesh wrapped around a single seed. The taste is sweet and floral, a little grape-like, with a gentle acidity. It grows in heavy clusters across Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, ripening from green to vivid red. Though it looks alarming, the soft spines are harmless and bend at a touch. It is proof that some of the most intimidating-looking fruits hide the sweetest, gentlest flesh inside. Mangosteen. Often crowned the queen of fruits, the mangosteen hides one of the finest flavors in the world inside a thick, hard, deep purple rind. Crack it open and the segments within are snow-white, soft, and juicy, tasting sweet and tangy at once, with notes of peach, citrus, and lychee that have made it legendary among fruit lovers. Native to Southeast Asia, it was so prized that Queen Victoria is said to have offered a reward to anyone who could bring her a fresh one. For decades, it was effectively banned from the United States over fears it might carry Asian fruit flies, and only after an irradiation treatment was approved in 2007 could fresh mangosteens finally be imported. The number of purple lobes on the base of the rind quietly matches the number of segments inside. No other fruit has been so coveted and so hard to reach. Lychee. For more than 2,000 years, the lychee has been treasured in southern China, where an emperor once set up a relay of fast horses to rush the fragile fruit to his favorite consort before it spoiled. Beneath its thin, bumpy red shell, which cracks off easily, lies a translucent, pearly white flesh wrapped around a single glossy brown seed. The flavor is intensely floral and sweet, perfumed like roses and grapes, one of the most distinctive tastes in the fruit world. Lychees grow in drooping clusters and must be picked ripe, since they stop sweetening the moment they leave the tree. They bruise and brown within days, which is why fresh lychees were once a rare luxury far from where they grew. Canned or dried, they travel better, but nothing matches the fragrance of a fresh one straight off the branch. Passion fruit. The name has nothing to do with romance. Spanish missionaries in South America saw in the elaborate flower of the vine a symbol of the Passion of Christ, and the fruit took its name from there. Inside a hard, wrinkled purple or yellow shell sits a pocket of golden, jelly-like pulp packed with edible black seeds, intensely aromatic and mouth-puckeringly tart. A little goes a long way, and its perfume flavors juices, desserts, and cocktails across the tropics. The vine is a vigorous climber with one of the most intricate flowers in nature. As the shell ripens, it wrinkles and dimples, a sign not of spoilage but of peak sweetness. Sour, fragrant, and unmistakable, passion fruit is one of the great flavors of the tropics. Jackfruit. This is the largest fruit that grows on any tree in the world, a spiky green giant that can reach 80 pounds and hang straight from the trunk. Native to the rainforests of South and Southeast Asia, a single jackfruit is a bundle of dozens of sweet, golden pods, each wrapped around a large seed, with a ripe flavor like a mix of banana, mango, and bubblegum. Its most surprising modern role comes from the unripe fruit. Young green jackfruit has a neutral taste and a stringy texture that pulls apart exactly like cooked meat, which has made it a star of vegan cooking, standing in for pulled pork in tacos and sandwiches. The seeds are boiled or roasted like chestnuts, and almost nothing goes to waste. One fruit can feed a whole family, which is why it is sometimes called a poor man's food, and a tree of great value at the same time. Starfruit. Slice this glossy yellow fruit crosswise, and every piece comes out a perfect 5-pointed star, which is exactly how it earns its name. Known as ka ram bo la, it grows across Southeast Asia and has a crisp, watery, mildly sweet and sour taste, closer to a grape crossed with an apple, eaten skin and all with no peeling required. The whole fruit is edible, and it is often used more for its looks than its flavor, floating in drinks or arranged across desserts and salads as an edible decoration. There is one genuine caution. Starfruit is high in oxalic acid and a natural toxin that healthy kidneys clear easily, but that can build up and cause real neurological harm in people with kidney disease. For everyone else, it is a harmless, pretty, refreshing snack, the only fruit that turns every slice into a star. Cherimoya. Mark Twain once called this fruit deliciousness itself, the most delicious fruit known to men. Native to the Andes of South America, the cherimoya wears a pale green, scaly, almost reptilian skin over a soft, creamy white flesh studded with large black seeds. Its texture is where the name custard apple comes from, smooth and spoonable like a set custard, and the flavor is a tropical blend often described as a mix of banana, pineapple, and bubblegum. The seeds are toxic if crushed and are spat out, not eaten, but the flesh is pure dessert, best chilled and scooped straight from the shell. The tree's flowers must often be pollinated by hand, since the insects that evolved to pollinate them do not live where the fruit is now grown, which makes a good cherimoya a labor-intensive luxury. Few fruits taste so much like a ready-made pudding straight from nature. Pomegranate. One of the oldest cultivated fruits on Earth, the pomegranate has been grown across Persia and the Middle East for thousands of years, appearing in myth, scripture, and art from ancient Egypt to Greece. Behind its tough, leathery red skin lies not soft flesh but hundreds of jewel-like seeds called arils, each a bead of translucent ruby juice around a crunchy center. The taste balances sweet and sharply tart, and the vivid juice stains everything it touches, which is why it has long stood for both fertility and blood. Getting the arils out is the famous challenge, though tapping the halved fruit over a bowl sends them tumbling free. Beyond eating, pomegranate juice flavors the syrup grenadine and the Persian stew fey senjan. For a fruit that is mostly seeds, it has held an outsized place in human culture for millennia. Kiwano. Also called the horned melon, this fruit looks like something from another planet. A bright orange, oval shell covered in sharp horns, hiding a lime-green, jelly-like interior full of edible seeds. Native to the dry regions of southern and central Africa, where it has been eaten for thousands of years, the kiwano is one of the few fruits that can store water through a drought, which made it a valuable source of moisture in arid lands. Its taste is subtle and often disappointing to newcomers, a mild blend of cucumber, zucchini, and banana with a hint of lime, more refreshing than sweet. It is spooned straight from the shell or squeezed for its juice, and today it is grown as a novelty in California and New Zealand as much as in Africa. Alien on the outside and cool and watery within, it is a fruit built for the desert. Salak. Known as snake fruit, the salak is instantly recognizable by its skin, a glossy reddish-brown covering of overlapping scales that looks and feels exactly like a snake's hide. Native to Indonesia, it grows in clusters at the base of a short, extremely spiny palm. Peel away the papery scales and inside are 2 or 3 pale, firm lobes, with a texture unlike almost any other fruit, dry, crunchy, and crisp like an apple or a raw nut rather than juicy. The flavor is sweet and acidic with a strange astringency, described as a mix of pineapple, banana, and something almost nutty. Different varieties range from very sweet to sharply sour, and the best are prized across Indonesia. Snake-skinned and apple crisp, salak is one of the most texturally surprising fruits in the world. Miracle fruit. This small red West African berry performs one of the strangest tricks in all of food. Eat one, and for the next hour everything sour tastes intensely sweet. A lemon becomes lemonade, vinegar tastes like apple juice, and a raw lime turns into candy. The berry itself is only mildly sweet, but it contains a protein called mish-raculin that binds to the taste buds and rewires how they read sour flavors, switching acid to sugar until it slowly washes away. West Africans have used it for centuries to make sour foods and drinks palatable. In the modern world, it has fueled flavor-tripping parties, where guests eat the berry and then work through plates of lemons, pickles, and hot sauce in astonishment. Researchers have even studied it as a sugar-free sweetener and a way to help patients whose illness has left food tasting metallic. No other fruit changes the way the tongue itself works. Jackfruit. In the highlands of Vietnam and Southeast Asia grows a fruit so vividly colored it looks almost artificial. A spiky orange-red globe whose dark red flesh and seeds are among the richest natural sources of certain nutrients on the planet. Gak carries far more beta-carotene than a carrot, and enormous amounts of lycopene, the pigment that makes it and tomatoes red, giving it a reputation as a superfood long before the word existed. Its own taste is mild, faintly like carrot and melon, so it is used less for flavor than for color and nutrition. In Vietnam, its brilliant red pulp is traditionally cooked with sticky rice to make soy gak, a celebratory dish served at weddings and the Lunar New Year, where the red color stands for luck. Rare outside Asia, gak is a fruit valued for what it carries rather than how it tastes. Soursop. Big, green, and covered in soft spines, the soursop looks fierce but hides a soft, creamy white flesh that is one of the tropics' great flavors. Native to the Caribbean and tropical Americas, and known across Latin America as guanabana, it tastes like a blend of strawberry and pineapple with a rich custardy tang, sour and sweet at once. The flesh is blended into beloved juices, ice creams, and smoothies across Latin America and the Caribbean. The fruit can grow to several pounds and must be caught at just the right moment, firm and it is bitter, overripe and it turns to mush. Its leaves and flesh have a long history in folk medicine, though claims that it cures disease are not supported by evidence. Spiky green armor over sweet, fragrant cream, soursop is a tropical favorite. Buddha's hand. The strangest citrus in the world grows in a cluster of long yellow fingers, splitting the fruit into what looks like a gnarled human hand. This is the Buddha's hand, an ancient variety of citron from India and China, and unlike any orange or lemon, it holds almost no pulp and no juice at all, being made up entirely of fragrant white pith and rind. What it offers instead is scent. A single fruit can perfume an entire room with an intense, sweet, floral citrus aroma, which is why it has been used for centuries as a natural air freshener and a temple offering. Its finger-like sections said to resemble hands folded in prayer. In the kitchen, the whole thing is edible, sliced or candied or grated as a sweet, bitter-free zest. It is a citrus that gave up its juice entirely and became pure fragrance instead. From the flame-pink dragon fruit to the hand-shaped citron, these fruits show how strange, various, and inventive the plant world can be, far beyond the apples and oranges of the supermarket shelf. Most of them ripen in a single warm band around the world, prized at home for centuries and only now traveling to the rest of us. Let us know in the comments which fruit we should peel back next.